Time now for our Muni Moment. New York Governor Kathy Hochul's budget includes a proposal taxing multi-million-dollar second homes in the city. This solidifying Mayor Zohran Mamdani's pied-à-terre levy announcement that featured Ken Griffin's new penthouse in the background, remember. Speaking with Bloomberg at Milken, Pershing Square's Blackman, he pushed back that taxing the ultra-wealthy will alleviate the city's economic concerns.
Where Mamdani was correct is that New York is not a very affordable place to live. But you're not going to make it more affordable by getting rid of the biggest drivers of tax revenues for the city. Mamdani already has a budget crisis, but we got to figure out how to run New York City much more efficiently.
Let's bring in Bloomberg senior reporter Laura Namias. And Laura, you've been writing about how actually very little is understood or at least agreed about what even this tax would look like.
Yes. The governor came out yesterday to announce a general agreement with other legislative leaders on what she described as a $268 billion budget deal that includes the pied-à-terre tax. 30 minutes after she wrapped up her remarks, another legislative leader came out to say there was actually no deal. It was premature of the governor to say that. But we do understand that they're all in agreement that there should be a pied-à-terre tax. They're having extraordinary difficulty designing it because of technical problems, the Byzantine nature of New York City's property tax system, and the compressed timeline from when the governor announced she wanted to do this about 3 weeks ago to now.
So it's not like vested interests like those with very expensive pied-à-terres in the city who are pushing on the pressure. It's just too hard to orchestrate.
Well, there was an effort to put together a pied-à-terre tax in 2019 that failed, at least in part because of these same sort of technical issues with New York City's property tax system. It is so bizarre. People have been talking about reforming it for decades, changing the nature of it, and it values certain properties and taxes them based on a different calculation than their sale price. Ken Griffin's penthouse is assessed at $7 million, even though he paid $238 million for it. It's just one example.
Wow.
So how much would the tax really help close New York City's a budget deficit?
So the one thing that everyone seems to agree on is that they want to raise $500 million from this tax to put toward the city's budget deficit. And what they're going to do, and what the governor has admitted, is that they're going to reverse engineer the rates that will be imposed on people's properties in order to reach that revenue goal. So they're not starting with the rate and assuming what the revenue will be. They're starting from the 500 and working backwards.
Okay, so you just published a story like an hour ago. New York City tax plan that angered rich, proving difficult to design. What are you watching for next year now that there's pretty much a holdup?
Well, we're hoping that as the governor and the legislative leaders come to any kind of agreement on what the tax will look like, the leaders have to go back to their members who have to ultimately vote on bills to enact it. They're going to have to conference it with them, get them to buy into it, and hopefully we'll get more details about the structure, the rates, the way they'll implement it, a grievance process, everything that goes along with creating an entirely new tax. A very cumbersome process, even under a much more normal timeline.
Is there a risk that it drifts into those that aren't as expensive? At the moment, it seems to be it's $5 million and above.
Right.
Does that get changed, or does it actually that upstate pied-à-terres or second homes aren't being implicated? It's only the city. Does any of it move or shift, do you think?
Right now, it's only the city. The problem is that the universe of properties they're trying to capture are not assessed based on those values. So a townhome, or sorry, a co-op or condo that sells for $5 million is assessed at
income-producing potential.
Yes.
So basically what you could rent it at.
What you could rent it at. A very bizarre way to do it. And so properties that have the same assessed value can have a wide range of sale values. They don't want to penalize people who don't have the most expensive homes. They also are limited in how they can impose a tax that's different from how a property tax is already levied.